Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make the matching pants for the t-shirt, the polo t-shirt that we made in our previous video. So these are the matching pants and you can make them either in one color or striped, as you can see in this image. So for the materials you will need yarn. The yarn that I'm using is Robin. It's 100% acrylic and it's a lightweight yarn. It's a fingering weight yarn, and as you can see, the strand is very thin. So the hook that I'll be using for this project is a 3mm crochet hook, a measuring tape, and then a darning needle, as well as a pair of scissors. I don't have my scissors with me right now, but I'll get them later on. So those are the materials that you will need for this project. So for the pants, I needed about 6 balls total for the whole project, and each ball is 300 yards. So a total of 6 balls to make the whole project approximately. And yeah, let's begin. So you're going to start off with an odd number of chains. For my pants, I started off with a total of 141 chains. So you're going to start off with a slip knot and make your odd number of chains, and this chain should be running from your waistline all the way down to your feet, or up to where you want your pants to stop. So for me, I did a total of 141 chains, and for demonstration purposes I will be starting off with a total of 51 chains so that the stitch demonstration can be recorded on this frame. Otherwise, the 141 chains won't be able to be covered in this small frame. So I'm going to do my 51 chains for demonstration of the stitch. So for the sake of demonstration, I'll start off with the 51 chains. So after your odd number of chains, you're going to go into the 5th chain from the hook with a double crochet. So a double crochet is, after a double crochet here, you're going to make a chain of 1, skip 1 chain, yarn over, and double crochet into the next chain. So skip 1 chain, double crochet into the next. This is going to end up creating a mesh pattern for us for our shirt. So we're going to continue doing this. You make a chain of 1, skip 1 chain, and double crochet into the next chain. And you can see what that is creating. It's creating a very neat mesh pattern. So continue to do that all the way across until you come towards the end of your row, and I'll show you what to do towards the end. Alright, so we're coming to the end of the row, and I am still working my mesh pattern until I have a total of 2 chains left. I will make a chain of 1, skip the second last chain, and place a double crochet into the very last chain. And that marks the end of row 1. You should have this beautiful mesh pattern. So we're going on to row 2. Row 2 is also going to be made of the mesh pattern, but this time we're going to go into the stitches, not the chains. So you're going to make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1, turn your work, and then skip the chain space and double crochet into the next double crochet. So we're going into the stitches, not the chain 1 spaces. Chain 1, skip the next chain space and double crochet into the next stitch. Alright, so you're going to continue with the mesh pattern until towards the end of the row, and I'll show you how to wind up row 2. So we are coming to the end of row 2, and when you come to the end, you're going to make a chain of 1, skip over 1 chain, and double crochet into the next chain. So this is how your row 2 will look like. So we're just going to repeat row 2 again and again until we have a good length or a good width. Actually, the length is this. Alright guys, so I continued working my mesh pattern, until my panel was half of my intended hip circumference when slightly stretched. As you can see here, we have a total of 21 inches without stretching the panel, and half of my hip circumference is about 27 inches. So I have 21 here. When I slightly stretch, I can go to 27 inches because my intended hip circumference, the total hip circumference that I'm considering, is 54 inches. So divide by 2, I should be having a total of 27 inches, but I have less than that without stretching. So when I slightly stretch this panel, it goes to half of my intended hip circumference. So once you get there, we are going to start making some decreases. So I did a total of 49 rows to get to that measurement, and now we're going to start creating our decreases as well as shaping the crotch area of the pants. So what we're going to do after your last stitch here, you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work. You're going to go into the second double crochet, so not the very first stitch. You're going to go into the second one with 1 single crochet, and then make a chain of 1 single crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1 and 1 single crochet into the next double crochet. Remember, we are not working into the chain 1 spaces, we are working into the stitches. So far we have a total of 1, 2 and 3 single crochets. Once you have your 3 single crochets, you're going to make a chain of 1 and then double crochet into the next double crochet. So we've gone back to the normal mesh stitch. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet, and you're going to repeat this all the way across until the end of the row. So the decreases are going to be appearing on one side of the panel, only on the upper side where the waistband is supposed to be. So the decreases are going to be on this side, and when it comes to the opposite side, we're going to maintain this flat edge. So you're going to work all the way down until the end of the row where you place a double crochet after skipping a chain here. So I'll show you what to do towards the end of the row. So we are basically just continuing with the mesh pattern of the double crochet stitches. Chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet, and go all the way across. Alright, so we're coming to the end of the very first row of decreases, and we are finishing up the row just like any other mesh row. So after a double crochet here, you're going to make a chain of 1, skip 1 chain of the chain 4, and then go into the next chain with 1 double crochet. And that's how we wind up our row, the very first row of decreases. Then you're going to make a chain of 4. So I had told you that this side remains straight, so you make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1, turn your work, and double crochet into the next double crochet. And you're going to continue creating the mesh pattern all the way up until we have a total of 4 double crochets left before the single crochet stitches. So just keep working until you have a total of 4 double crochets towards the end of the row, and I'll be showing you when I get to that point. So keep working the mesh pattern all the way up. Alright, so you're going to work the mesh stitch until you have a total of 4 double crochets. So the double crochets I'm talking about are these ones before we reach the single crochet stitches. Remember the single crochet stitches on this side at the beginning of the previous row? We have double crochet stitches here. So when you have 4 left, you're going to make a chain of 1 and then single crochet in that 4th double crochet, because you're counting from this one, 1, 2, 3, and then into the 4th you're going to place 1 single crochet there, just like that, and then you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work. And then we are going to go into the next double crochet with 1 single crochet, just like that. Make a chain of 1, single crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1, and single crochet into the next double crochet. So we want a total of 3 single crochets, and we've achieved that. After that, you're going to make a chain of 1 and then start working double crochet stitches in each double crochet from the previous row. So chain 1, 1 double crochet into the next, and that's how we decrease this stitch for this particular design. So that's what you're going to do for row 3 of the decreases. So just go all the way across, working the mesh pattern, and you can see we've gone back to the original mesh pattern, but we've decreased here. So keep working the 2 rows, row 2 and row 3, row 2 and 3, until you have a total of 9 rows. Now I'll be recommending a number of rows to do for the different sizes, and I'll be placing it on the screen so that you follow that same pattern depending on the size that you're making for. And this is going to determine the round fly of the pants. So for the larger sizes, you'll have a deeper round fly, and for the smaller sizes, you'll have a shallower round fly. So that's the difference in the number of rows to do for this particular design. So let me go ahead and keep repeating rows 2 and 3, and I'll be back to show you what mine looks like. Alright guys, I ended up doing a total of 9 rows of the decreases, and this is what it has created on the upper part of the pants. As you can see, we have that slanting effect. 9 rows for this particular size, and for all the other sizes, I hope you saw the number of rows to do. So make your number of rows depending on the size that you're making for. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 rows for size large, extra large. And once you get here, you're going to attach your yarn on the opposite side and do the same exact thing. I've already done the same process on the opposite side. So when I fold over my work like this, the upper side is going to be narrower than the lower side. We're going to have something that looks like this, and we're going to have a slanting effect on the inner seam line of the pants. You're going to have something like this. So let me show it. You can see what this is creating. So we have a total of 9 rows of decreases, and then on this side we're going to just have a flat edge, and then all the way down. And I've ended my row on this lower end of the pants. And what you're going to do is to join the 2 panels together until the last double crochet before the single crochet. So you're going to join until the double crochet here, and you're going to leave this gap here unjoined. I hope it makes sense. You're going to join until the last double crochet of the panel before the single crochet decreases, the single crochet stitches here. So just go to the bottom of the pants and identify the right side of your work. If you want, make sure your work is on the wrong side. So for me, I think both sides are the same basically. So I'll just choose one side and start joining from the base of the pants. So after your last stitch, you're going to make a chain of 1 and then bring the second panel. And now we are going to start joining this open side in order to form a round for the pants. So remember, this is our very first leg hole. So you go in every stitch with 1 single crochet, and then you go in the chain 1 space with 1 single crochet. So single crochet in the stitch and in the chain one space all the way up until the very last double crochet of the panel on both ends. So this is what it's going to create, and on the right side we shall have something very seamless, as you can see here. So go all the way up and I'll meet you back when I am done joining. So this is the inner seam line, and this is going to be in the middle, like on the middle side of the legs, not on the outer side. It's going to be in the middle, and we won't even see where the seam line is when these pants are worn. So go all the way across. I'll meet you back here towards the end of the row. Alright guys, so I've made it all the way to the last double crochet of the two panels. As you can see here, the single crochets are here, and this is the very final double crochet. So we've joined from the base of the pants all the way up to the very last double crochet of the two panels. Now I'm going to make a chain of one and then leave a tail, which we may need it later on for joining, but if we don't need it, then we shall just weave it in and cut off the excess yarn. So just make a chain of one and pull through, leaving a tail behind. So this is what our very first panel looks like. We're going to go ahead and do the same exact process for the second panel. So this is our very first leg hole, or first panel for the pants. So you're going to repeat the same exact process for the second one, and then I'll meet you back to show you how to join the two pieces together. So just to cross check the measurements, you're going to leave out this slanting part and go to this flat edge, and you should be, when you measure across, you should be having quarter of your hip measurement, quarter of your hip circumference. So for me, quarter is about 14 inches, and once I achieve that, I'm very sure that these pants are going to fit really well. They're actually going to leave some room for a loose fitting or a comfortable fitting. It's not going to be very body hugging on my client. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second panel, and I'll meet you back when I am through with that. Alright guys, now that we are done with both panels, you're going to make sure that the seam lines are on the inner side of the pants. Alright, so we have the seam line here on both panels. We have the decreases on this side, and then the decreases on this side, on this panel, and the seam line is here and here. So once you finish your second panel, we are going to join these parts, this part to this part, and then also join this part to the other part on the opposite side, so that we form some sort of round, so that the pants can become functional and they become one piece. So just go ahead and join this side to this side like that, and then do the same exact thing this side to this side using the tail that you left behind. Remember that long tail that we left behind after doing the inner seam from the bottom of the pants all the way to the last double crochet. So to do that, you're going to just go into each and every stitch and into each and every chain one space all the way to the top of the pants. So I'm going to have one of my panels here, and then the second one here, and I start joining. Make sure both panels are on the wrong side. So I'm going into the chain 1 space first, and then the single crochet. So just continue joining in each and every chain 1 space and single crochet stitch. So wherever you feel like this spot needs a stitch, just place it. Don't make sure you don't leave big gaps in between, otherwise the pants will look weird. Make sure you close up each and every gap. So this is what the seam line is going to look like, and it's going to look the same both at the front and at the back. Alright guys, now we are done with one side of the middle seam line. After this, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through, and you're going to repeat the same exact process for the back side or the front side. So any side can be the front side or the back side. So turn your work to the opposite side, just like this, and join the same exact way that we've done on this side. You can see the right side of our pants, and then the back side has the seam line that bump of the single crochet stitches. So make sure your work is still on the wrong side and go ahead to join the two panels together, this side to this side, just like we've done on the lower side. Alright guys, so our pants are now making sense, as you can see the image on the screen. Now we're going to use a double strand. As I had mentioned earlier on, I'm using a fingering weight yarn to do this pair of pants. So for the waistband, I'm going to use a double strand just to achieve some sort of thickness around the waist area. So I'm going to use a double strand and I'm going to attach in any row, and I'm going to make a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet. Then I'm going to place one more double crochet into the same exact space. So what we are doing here is to narrow down the waist area a bit. So you can see it's quite wide, and we want to pull it in a little bit and also create a drawstring in order to make the waistband adjustable. So into the next row you're going to place only one double crochet, and then in the next you're going to place 2 double crochets, and you're going to keep alternating between that. 1 double crochet in the next row, 2 double crochets in the next row. So keep doing that all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the beginning of the round. Alright, so we've made it all the way around the waistband of our pants, and I'm going to do only one round. I don't want my waistband to be very thick because the pants are already long. I don't want to add to the length of the pants. And you can see how that has brought in the width of the upper opening of the pants. So from here you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. So at this point, my client's waist measurement is 40 inches. So if I measure at the top of my pants, I should be able to get half the hip measurement, half the waist measurement, sorry. And you can see it's almost 20 inches, which is half of the waist measurement. So the waist measurement that I'm intending to make for is 40 inches. So from here I'm going to just make a simple chain and pass it through this row that I have just created for the waistband, and then I'll meet you back to show you what everything looks like. So just get your yarn and just make a simple chain. A simple chain that can go all the way around the waistband of the pants, and then I'll meet you back to show you how to weave it into the very top round of the waistband. So I've made a total of 250 chains. You can make as long as you want. It can even go up to 300 chains. After that, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. Now you're going to turn your pants onto the right side and start weaving in this drawstring into the topmost round that we just created. So from the exact center, just skip a few stitches and start weaving in this chain into in and out of every 2 stitches. In and out of every 2 stitches. You can even use a darning needle if you want this to be faster. In and out of every 2 stitches, don't forget that. So go all the way around until you make it back to the front center of the pants. So this drawstring is going to help us get an adjustable waistband for our pants so that they can hold the waist firmly and the pants don't fall off. Alright guys, so when you make it all the way around, you're going to just make a knot just like I have here. This is going to make the waistband or the waist opening adjustable and more wearable, because the width of the waist area was really crazy. It was really wide and it wasn't a functional pair of pants. So after putting the drawstring, you're going to have a well-fitted pair of pants. And yeah, I guess that's it for today's video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this tutorial, and go ahead and weave in all the tails and get rid of all the loose strands on your pants. And yeah, don't forget to check out the written pattern. I'll be leaving all the links in the description box below. So thanks for watching guys. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.